as MJF made the podcast rounds this week, talking about his contract status with AEW and his relationship with Tony Khan. As you know, last we seen MJF, he was calling his boss, Tony Khan, a giant mark, a fucking mark to be exact. And then he walked out the door, and we had not heard from MJF in months, and the ratings missed him, as clearly shown by the fact that ever since MJF's been back, the AEW ratings have been up over 1 million. Now, you could contribute that to any number of things, the Bucks being gone, Punk being gone, or just, it's this time of year, more people are sitting down to watch TV as summer's wrapping up, or it could be MJF. If you ask MJF, it's going to be him, right? He is the GOAT. He is the fucking key player for AEW, and he's definitely a key player, that's for sure. And of course, when he left AEW, it was over this whole contract issue. He felt he was not getting paid the money that he deserved, not getting paid the money that he's worth. Check out these clips. There's 2 clips here, actually. The first one here is going to be from Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour with MJF talking about his contract status. Check out this clip.
I believe it was in Inglewood. You cut that, I don't want to say promo, because I
hate that terminology.
What would you call it?
It was an oratory exhibition, is what I would say.
You called Tony Khan a fucking mark.
Well, at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, it felt warranted.
What was the state of your relationship then, and how would you compare it to now?
Now it's great.
So what changed?
Money.
It was just money.
I'm a simple man. Look, I go out there, all I do is win. I'm winning in the ring. I'm winning on the mic. I'm constantly winning. So obviously I had no problem with how I was being showcased. That wasn't the issue. The issue was money. I was looking to my left and my right, and I was hearing rumblings about what guys were making when I was 3 times the draw they were minute by minute. Again, I've seen the analytics. And I went, that doesn't work for me. I'm MJ freaking F.
Right.
Pay up.
Then later in the day, MJF appeared on the Rasslin podcast with Brandon Wallker over at Barstool Sports, and he elaborated on his contract situation and relationship with Tony Khan. Check out this clip.
Ever.
When you get in
and I'm not done.
Sorry, I thought
and
you
I'm
were.
going to win that world title. I don't care if it goes on Danielson. I don't care if it goes on Moxley. I don't care who it goes on. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to win that world title. I'm going to hold it till January 1st, 2024. And then I am going to go to the highest bidder. Could be anybody, as long as it's not New Japan. Fucking hate New Japan.
Don't want to go to Japan.
It's literally, I don't understand how people still pretend it's a company that's like important. It's wild to me.
What if they paid you the most money, though?
Honestly, they could pay me $1 billion. I won't go.
So really, we're just talking probably 2 bidders. I mean,
no.
AEW, maybe another wrestling company.
Well, who's to say that there can't be a financial backer who wants to start a wrestling promotion that's willing to pay me an absurd amount of money in the United States of America? Listen, I'm very good friends with Freddie Prinze Jr. Now, I'm being completely transparent. I'm very good friends with Freddie Prinze Jr. Mm-hmm. He's starting a wrestling company. Who's to say that he doesn't shell up enough money for MJF? Who knows? Who knows who his financial backers are?
That would be quite the summer catch.
I saw what you did there, and I want you to know. You're a fucking dad.
You know that was good.
Freddie Prinze Jr., that's interesting. That is interesting. I don't know. I know Freddie is going to be starting his federation. I don't know if it's going to be like just indie level or if he's going to try to make a go for a big TV deal. If he's going to try to be a third brand out there. I don't know how far he's trying to go. I kind of see it as more of like an MLW level promotion, maybe even just like a pro wrestling guerrilla level promotion. But certainly Freddie Prinze Jr. has the ability to pull in big money backers if that's something that he wanted to do. And look, I don't believe that that's the case with MJF. I definitely think it's either going to be WWE or AEW, right? They're the only ones that are going to be able to come up with that kind of scratch. But it's interesting to hear that MJF is just out there for the money. You know, we don't know his true feelings because he is always in character. He could certainly be just all about the money, but we don't know if his inner wrestling fan is a mark for main eventing WrestleMania like CM Punk was, or any number of other people. I mean, it's certainly a bucket list thing you want to scratch off your list. Even just being a part of WrestleMania in general is certainly a bucket list item, I would think, for any young professional wrestler. But you know, at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's how the guys looked at it back in the day. It was a business. All the old school wrestlers weren't marks for, I want a main event WrestleMania. Nobody cared about that shit. You wanted to main event WrestleMania because it meant more money. It wasn't like a bucket list thing where I dreamed that I would grow up one day and I would main event WrestleMania. So MJF seems to be all about that scratch, all about that paper. You know what I'm saying? And he's not shy to give his opinion, and I love that, especially him ragging on New Japan Pro Wrestling. He did it in both of these interviews, just buried New Japan. He even went in further detail about Okada, you know, fucking Okada, ripping on him for being number 2 in the PWI 500. Look, it's a little bit weird that MJF, you know, I don't know if this is just him talking, just kind of trying to bluster his image and his ego out there, you know, just kayfabing things. It's very unusual for a guy to get a raise in his contract without signing an extension. You know, if he's getting new contract money, but he's still on the old contract time limit and he's still out in 2024, that's pretty much unheard of. People don't really do that, and that would surprise me greatly. Even though he's a key player for AEW, I mean, look, he would be in, he would have breached his contract if he just refused to wrestle ever again. Tony Khan had him under contract to wrestle until 2024. He could have sued the shit out of MJF had MJF just decided to take his ball and go home, never come back to AEW and wrestle. So, he was obligated to compete under that contract. So I think there's more to this than meets the eye. And by the way, that was his second contract. I see a lot of people out there are still under the impression that this is the same bum contract that MJF had when he walked off the street as a fucking greenhorn from MLW. And that's not the case. Tony Khan, after I think the first year, after he got his bigger TV deal, you know, he had a certain set contract for when he was doing just like the ad share when he first got on TV to kind of test yourself. But once he re-upped a contract with TNT, with Warner Media, he handed out new contracts to several talents. I know, at the very least, I know MJF got a new contract just handed to him. It wasn't like he didn't have to fight for it or argue for it or renegotiate or anything. It was just like, here, man, I value you. I got a bigger money contract now, so now you got a bigger money contract. And he gave one to Britt Baker as well. He re-upped Britt Baker before her contract was up. He just said, hey, let's tear up this old one. You're worth more than that. I got more money coming in now. Let's pay you what you're worth. So this was already MJF's second contract. And it would have been a breach of contract for him to just refuse to wrestle until 2024. That couldn't happen. Tony could sit him home and sit him on the couch until 2024, which might severely diminish his star power if he were to go to WWE, or just build anticipation for his return, I guess, anyway. But you put him on ice for a couple of years, that'll really put a dent in things. But I don't know if he did get a new contract, a bigger money contract, without an extension. That's the story going forward, but is that the case? I don't know. Look, MJF's good for business, so whatever Tony Khan decided he needed to do to keep MJF around was smart to do in the short term, especially because he's going to have contract negotiations coming up before, with Warner Media for a bigger money TV deal. And that's going to happen before MJF is set to leave the company. So it behooves Tony Khan to have as much star power on his roster contracted where he can go to the network and be like, look, I got this guy, I got this guy, I got this guy. That's kind of the same reason why people are thinking that they put the Ring of Honor title on Chris Jericho, is that he can go to the network and say, look, I got this guy and this guy and this guy. You know, Chris Jericho's our champion. So and you heard MJF say it in the clip, like, you know, the network loves MJF. They're happy with MJF. Of course, remember, they were in the house when he delivered the fucking Mark promo. What did he call it? An oratory exhibition. He doesn't like the P word, as he calls it. Look, MJF's worth every single penny that he gets paid. He delivers in the ratings, absolutely. Sometimes there's more to it than that, though, and his youth, his arrogance might be clouding this as well, but some of it is just star power, right? MJF might deliver the ratings week to week, but that doesn't necessarily mean you get CM Punk money, right? It doesn't mean you get Chris Jericho money, because you can go to the network with the names. Whether the names are drawing your minute to minute compared to MJF, maybe they are, maybe they're not, but they're also household names. And that helps seal the deal on bigger contracts when you can say, I got this guy, I got this guy, I got this guy, like we just talked about. So MJF's not necessarily a household name quite yet. He's got a little bit of work to do ahead of him to get to that point. He will be. MJF's going to be one of the biggest stars this business has ever seen. I guarantee it. He already is a top guy. And, you know, he deserves top guy money, but he doesn't deserve like CM Punk money. You know what I'm saying? So it will be interesting to see how it actually plays out in 2024. If MJF is under new contract or how that works exactly, but I would go out of my way to keep MJF. He's your franchise player. You know, I wouldn't break the bank on MJF. Sometimes maybe his ego might just get a little bit too far ahead of him, and he might think he's worth way more than he actually is. But in my opinion, MJF's worth almost any penny that you can muster up to pay him, short of like CM Punk, Chris Jericho money. He doesn't get I'm a megastar legend money, but he gets top guy money. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.